If everyone focused on one thing for a year, what kind of changes could happen? I don't know if anyone remembers what this house looked like at first, but today I finished pouring the floor. When we did the backfill earlier, we didn't level it properly. Today, when I started leveling, I realized there's a huge height difference between the left and right rooms in the main hall, so I had to dig out the higher side and fill in the lower side. This job looks simple, but honestly, it's all about physical labor and time. I was running back and forth all day, and 2 days later, I finally got the floor level. After that, I knocked out the excess. We had leftover plaster from before, so I dumped it in here, but it ended up too high, so I had to break it all down. I did all of this just because of a saying, use your muscles and materials. Now the floor's level, I took off the door and started moving the leftover debris with a wheelbarrow. The tiles were tough to dig out, so I had to use my hands. Thankfully, I had an old cart to help with the heavy lifting. After a day and a half, I finally got the floor cleared, and now it's time to celebrate. Everything's cleared out, so I set up infrared lines on the walls to mark the level. Every wall needs one line, so when we do the finishing work or measure things later, it's all the same height. Next, I laid down a damp-proof membrane. I bought just enough, and I only put it on the main house, not the side rooms. Now, everything's ready to pour the concrete. Watch and enjoy the process. Since I'm working alone, I made the concrete mix a bit thinner to make it easier to handle. I worked from 2 p.m. till 8 p.m. to finish one room. The next morning, I used what I learned from yesterday, and the work went smoother. After 2 days, everything was dry, so I removed the barriers and cleaned up the main hall, then poured the floor for the other rooms. By evening, the main house was done, and I moved on to the side rooms. For the side room, I needed to fix the manhole cover since it was too high, so I tore it out and rebuilt it. I also dug a trench and made space for a water pipe. I created a removable concrete mold for the manhole, making sure it was easy to pull out later. Used some leftover steel bars from the windows for a base, making it more stable. I also set up a steel loop for lifting a pump in the future. Once all that was done, I poured the concrete. Because the door frame was too small, I had to pour it through there. The side rooms were trickier because they didn't have a membrane, so the moisture evaporated faster. But that's okay, because I plan to tile the floors here later, and the rough surface will help with that. And that's the progress so far.